What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. And yes, the rumors persist about the Nintendo Switch getting some type of upgrade or pro model or stronger version probably next year. Now, the most recent rumor that we have here is a Polish retailer site that's fairly big throughout the region there, that has multiple mentions of a Switch Pro. So this is a little bit different than some of the rumors that we've gotten before in the past, where it's like, hey, Bloomberg is reporting this, or the Wall Street Journal is reporting that. But this time we actually have a retailer that might have accidentally slipped with this whole revision of the Nintendo Switch. So shout outs to Go Nintendo for the article here. So Nintendo has never said the term Switch Pro, but fans have pretty much adopted that because, you know, you have the PlayStation 4 Pro. So it's just like, hey, let's just use that because it's easy to convey what we're talking about here. So the rumored Switch revamp has pretty much been widely known as that, but we don't know if that's going to be the official name if there ends up being something like that. Now, this offers more power over the Switch Lite and the regular Switch. We've already talked about it numerous times. Check out my previous videos in terms of this whole Switch Pro stuff if you want to know more information about the previous rumors. So we're waiting to see if this thing is actually like real though. Now, retailer Media Markt, I'm hopefully saying that right, which is actually quite big throughout Europe, has updated its Polish version of the site. Now, when you search for the term Switch, there's actually multiple items for sale, and some of those items are the term or the phrase Switch Pro. It just pops up right there when you're looking for the Nintendo Switch. Even when you type in different accessories, you will see it, and it mentions in the header of each section saying Switch/Switch Pro. So there might be something there. That is the newest type of thing, because I looked through the site myself. I went through to the actual site that reported on this and everything, but it just seems kind of odd. You know, Go Nintendo also stated this, but I also have to agree. It seems kind of odd that a retailer would just mention this out of nowhere, because retailers usually have checks and balances, right? Like they get something from the distributor, they get something, and then it goes into their system, and then they can kind of code it, or they can kind of say like, hey, let's make sure it's not popping up at this point or whatever. But usually when you get these type of leaks or you get these type of things in there, there's definitely some fire to that smoke, right? Now, it might not be a completely new model of the Nintendo Switch that some people are thinking about. It might just be like a smaller revision or just something, but there's definitely something going on. You know, there has to be at this point. Now, Nintendo has already came out and stated there will be nothing for 2020 when it comes to new hardware or revisions or anything like that. And I think since we're pretty much already in October at this point, yeah, that's going to hold true. If there was anything for this year, we would have known about it at this point, because I mean, it's not too far away from like the holiday and stuff like that. We would have definitely heard about something if there was something coming out. Now, however, next year is completely open when it comes down to it. And if you look at the lineup, or if you look at the slate of games, I mean, there have been multiple videos that I've watched, some of them talking about it, especially like the Nate the Hate podcast, talk about some of the similarities between what Nintendo did before in the past with certain games and releasing new hardware. So for example, like with Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, right? And like the new Nintendo 3DS. They really wanted to get that game out with new hardware because Monster Hunter has always been interesting to play before we got dual analogs on portable systems, right? The claw method with the PlayStation Portable, or the claw method with the Nintendo 3DS. And then finally we had dual analog, you know, with the new Nintendo 3DS, right? We got dual analog there, then it came out with that hardware with the game and everything, and it was great for fans to finally be able to have that. Now, obviously, this is a little bit of a different situation because we already have dual analog, but at the same time, if you look at Monster Hunter Rise, and if you look at the style of that game, and you're thinking, yeah, that might be able to benefit a little bit from some type of stronger Nintendo Switch or higher quality Nintendo Switch, kind of getting the core fans out there to get this piece of hardware. But it's not just Monster Hunter Rise. Next year, you have Shin Megami Tensei 5, which is an early title that is Unreal Engine 4. We do know it's going to be in the first half of 2021. So I think that would be another title that could probably use a little bit more power when it comes down to it. This could be Atlus's best looking game ever made when it comes to graphics wise, because they are using their most modern engine. Even though Unreal Engine 4 isn't necessarily new per se, they've always used like the older engines for stuff like Persona 5, for example, Royal. I mean, they made some updates to it, but at the end of the day, it's still like that PlayStation 3 engine. So this will be their biggest when it comes to engine wise and everything game to date at this point. So I think that's also another very good sign to show that, hey, maybe there's something there. Also, you have to look at it at this, guys. We also have what coming out next year, probably? Zelda 35th Anniversary. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. I'm almost positive that Nintendo is going to try to take advantage in every single conceivable way to sell us Legend of Zelda stuff. So if there was a special Legend of Zelda Switch Pro, how fast do you guys think those would sell? Switch Pro with special Joy-Cons, revamped ones, whatever the case is. I mean, look at all the copies of Legend of Zelda special editions we had. We literally had like 3 separate copies. We had the huge box edition, we had like the blue Champions edition, we had like the $99 one right there at launch and everything. It was crazy, right? So I think that they could offer similar things here, but even go a step above with a bundle or with a brand new themed Legend of Zelda Switch Pro. I think that would fly so fast off of store shelves, Nintendo would be accused of creating fake scarcity with that thing, which they're always of. So I personally feel that, you know, this might be correct here, guys. I've been on the side of, yeah, we're probably going to see some type of revision. Now, some people are saying, is this going to be like a 4K type of console that's going to be able to compete with the Xbox Series X and also with the PlayStation 5? Let me just go ahead and crush your dreams from a power standpoint. There's no way, because this system would have to be backwards compatible with all the previous Switch games. So you can't sit here and make some type of actual next generation system that's so powerful or so whatever that it's not going to be able to just play the regular games that we have. It's just not possible. Plus that system's going to cost too much. Plus it's going to explode in your hands. Plus it's just too early. So I do think that we could get, like, let's say a 1080p console with a little bit more RAM, little bit more juice in there in the CPU and the GPU to push out better resolutions and better frame rates for previous games that was released, and also get us a little bit better and stable ports and stuff for future games as well, like a Monster Hunter Rise, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, these huge games that are coming out in 2021. And to be honest, those 3 games and this Switch Pro, I mean, it could be on the anniversary, the 4th anniversary of the Nintendo Switch from 2017 to 2021. It could be dropped right there, and those 3 games could be in that first half for a heck of a Nintendo Switch first half of the year. I mean, it's very possible. We're gonna have to wait and see exactly when Legend of Zelda comes out. They might want to hold on to that for Christmas and everything, but how cool would it be if the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild dropped on the anniversary of the Switch when it launched, you know, March or early March, more like it. That would just be super cool and a dope, I would just say, tribute. But I think next year with the Legend of Zelda and the 35th anniversary, I think we're going to get a lot of cool stuff with it. So you never know. Maybe they drop like Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword or something like that. Who knows what they're going to do? But either way, I'm excited to see what happens, just because all of this stuff that's happening so far, right? Like, we had our first really good partner direct pretty much from start to finish. Recently, we had the Mario 35th. We have Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity dropping out of nowhere. So it's been pretty exciting for the past couple weeks. And I think that things are even going to get more exciting as Nintendo probably has a few more tricks up their sleeve to announce for maybe next year's games too. But maybe even for this year as well. We have to wait and see on that. So what do you guys think about this here? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Check out the links in the description. We've got Twitter. Go and give us a follow on there. Stay up to date on all latest gaming news and information. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you can. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you for the next one. Peace.